Hi, I'm Leslie. This will be a yoga flow class focused mostly on core work. So it'll be vinyasa, it'll be about an intermediate to a strong intermediate level. So some prior yoga experience will really be beneficial to take this class. No particular props needed for this one. Unless you like having a couple of blocks handy, that's fine. I am sitting on a blanket just to begin with. We'll only be here for another couple of minutes or so seated before we start moving. So let's just get ourselves grounded here and find our breath. So find your comfortable seat, please, and close your eyes. Let the hands just rest on your legs. Spine rise up tall. And feel the head centered over the spine centered over the sacrum, right at the back center of your hips. And begin to deepen the breath here. Let it just smooth and even out. Inhale and exhale are about the same duration. Release tension in your shoulders, in your face, and in your fingers. So what we're doing here is just establishing an easy but full breath pattern that you'll try to maintain for the next 45 minutes or so. The breath may speed up from time to time if we're doing more challenging poses, but the breath remains conscious, it remains full, smooth and steady. One more breath like this, and exhale. Inhale, bring the hands together at your heart, palms together. Exhale, interlace the fingers and push your palms forward. Tuck your chin, round the upper back. Inhale, reach up straight through the arms. Exhale, release the hands behind you, interlace the fingers behind your hips. Inhale, lift up through the heart, let the arms lengthen down. And exhale, bring the hands back together at the heart. Interlace the fingers, push the palms forward. Same thing. Inhale, the arms reach up overhead. Exhale, the arms release down behind your hips. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, press the knuckles down and lift up the heart. And let's do this one more time. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Interlace the fingers. Same exhale, push your arms forward. Tuck the chin. Inhale, reach up high through the arms. Exhale, take the arms behind you, interlace your fingers. Inhale, lift up tall through the spine, arms are lengthening down. And exhale, just bring the hands back to your legs. Okay, so we're going to change our seat here. So let's come sit around the middle of the mat, and your feet are to the floor under your knees and your hands are on the floor under your shoulders. Angle the hands out just a little bit and then arch up through the spine. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, let the spine just start to round downwards. And do that again. Inhale, lift up, roll towards the front edge of your sit bones. Exhale, let the spine just soften downwards. And one more time. Inhale, lift up high, making a little bridge shape with your spine. Exhale, let it soften down like a hammock. And now push into your feet and let's lift up to a reverse tabletop here. Arms are straight now. Push straight down from your knees down into your feet. One more breath. And then walk your hands closer towards your heels until you can come into a squat and step the right foot back to a lunge. Lower the knee down. Inhale, your arms reach up overhead and hook your thumbs overhead. Let's side bend towards the left and then side bend towards the right. So keep a soft bend in your elbows. Your thumbs are hooked and you're trying to pull your thumbs apart. So there's some resistance in your thumbs to help warm up through the shoulders. And now let's make this a more circular movement. So side bend to the left, and then let your upper body come forward, and then come over to the right on the inhale, and then pull the arms back. So we're throwing off our center of gravity here. So it's going to get a little wobbly. So push straight down into the four corners of your front foot and engage your core a little bit just to create more stability through the midline of the body. And then next time your arms are down low, bring them all the way down to the floor. And then let's straighten through the left leg and send your hips back over your right knee. Half Hanumanasana. You can walk your left heel forward just a little bit to get more length through that leg. And then let's come on upright, keeping the lower body exactly as it was. Your left leg is mostly straight. Your back toes are curled under. Can you lift your left leg up and hover it? And yes, this is really challenging on the balance. So if the heel comes down from time to time, that's okay. You're just exploring how to maintain your balance in this pose. Try lowering your hips down onto your right heel, if that's okay for your right knee. And then try balancing again. Lifting up through your left leg. Just explore the wobbles here. That's okay. And then let's bring the top of the right foot all the way down. Bring the hands to the floor behind you. Push the left foot down into the floor with the knee bent. Unwind your right leg. And here we are back in reverse table, but we're at the back of our mat. So we need to walk ourselves forward, kind of like a little crab walk until you get back to, feet are back to the front of the mat. And then plant the feet down, walk the hands in until you can come up off of the hands. And now let's step the left foot back to a lunge. Lower the knee down. Inhale the arms, reach up to the sky, hook your thumbs. Try to hook them the other way. We tend to do it the most familiar way, so this is just the opposite. And then let's side bend over to the right. Inhale up and come over to the left. Inhale up, and then we'll do the circles here. So side bend to the right, and then same exhale, you lean forward. And then now you inhale, come over to the left, and then back. Now your back toes can be curled under or flat, or foot on the floor, flat. You decide what helps you find more stability in your body. You're still circling your upper body, your thumbs are still hooked, you're bent through the elbows, you're letting the upper body circle. Engage your core, try to find stability, push down into the four corners of the right foot. Next time your hands come low, bring them all the way down to the floor. And now let's straighten through the right leg. You can send your left knee back, or you can bring your right heel forward so that the hips stay over the left knee. Let's flex the ankle of the right foot, spread the toes. Try to pull the pinky toe back. One more breath. And then we'll explore balancing here. So come on upright. So maybe balancing for you, let's stay up high at first before we sit back on the left heel. Maybe balancing for you means you lift the heel just for a brief moment and you place it back down. And then if you try engaging your core, does that help? If you take your arms out to the side, does that help? What are the little micro adjustments you can make in your body so that you can balance a little bit longer every time? Try bringing your hips back on, or yes, sit down onto your left heel with the toes curled under still. And then does this help? Might create a little bit more strength through the quads to lift the leg up, but maybe the balance is a little bit more steady here, or not. We're all different. And then bring your hands to the floor. Bring the top of the left foot all the way down. And then bring the hands to the floor behind you. Let's place the right foot on the floor under the knee and unwind your left leg. So back in our reverse table, walk yourself forward. Little crab walks to the top of the mat. Plant the feet down and come walk yourself up into a squat, and pause here in a squat at the top of the mat. Can you lift up through the spine? Lift up through the base of your skull. One more breath here. And then hands to the floor, and let's straighten the legs, heel toe the feet so they're about hips distance apart. Pause here in your Uttanasana. Breathe into the back body. One more breath. Push down into the feet, and let's rise up to stand. Inhale, the arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to come right into our flow. So bring the feet together, bend the knees, chair pose. Weight is in the heels, arms reach up overhead, lift through the low belly. Exhale here. Keep your left knee bent and extend your right leg forward. So we're still in chair pose, but we're reaching right leg forward. And then exhale, take it back to a modified warrior 3. Keep your left knee bent. Keep the inner edge of your left knee pointing forward. And now come up just halfway and tuck the right knee behind the left. You're floating the right foot. Reach your arms forward. Take it back to warrior 3. Exhale with your left knee bent. Bring your right leg forward. So keep the left knee bent the whole time. Your left leg is in chair pose the whole time. Exhale back to a modified warrior 3. Now we're going to change this into a swan pose. So swan pose, imagine that you're a swan floating on a lake, and your back leg, your right leg, are your tail feathers. Lift them up high so they don't drag on in the water. Lift your heart high, reach your arms back, interlace the fingers behind you so you're tucking your swan wings onto your back. Release your hands and then tuck the right knee behind the left knee. Keep both knees bent. Lean the spine forward. Now bring your hands all the way down to the floor, and we're just going to see if we can extend the right leg out to the left as far as we can go. Maybe reaching for that foot with your right foot with your left hand. And then release the foot and swing it to the back of your mat. Lower the heel down, warrior 1. Inhale, reach up through the arms. Exhale, take the arms behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift up through the spine. Exhale, come into humble warrior. Shoulder to the inner knee, head releases down, arms reach away from the back. Push into your front heel. Inhale, let's rise up. Reach the arms up overhead. Straighten your front leg. Hop your back foot in just an inch or so and come forward and down over your left leg. Pyramid pose. So this is where the optional blocks, if you grabbed them, they may be helpful under your hands. If the back of your left leg is a little tight, lengthen halfway forward. Right hand under the shoulder. Inhale, left arm opens up, revolved pyramid pose. Keep sending your outer left hip back. Keep reaching up through your left arm. Reach the spine forward. And then let's look down. Inhale, windmill your right arm up and around. Face the long edge of your mat. Bend the right knee, turn the toes out a little bit, come into a side lunge. Hands can be in prayer or hands can be on the floor. And then side lunge into your left knee. You're still facing the long edge of the mat. And then come back up through center. So I'm just going to angle myself a little bit. You stay right where you are. So we're going to come into a forward fold. So bring your feet so they're parallel to each other. Hands on the hips, and let's hinge forward and lower the hands down to the floor. Walk the hands back between your feet. Prasarita Padottanasana, just a wide-legged forward fold. Release the skull. And then lengthen your spine halfway forward. Bring the hands under your shoulders. Now bend your right knee and walk your hands over closer towards your right foot. Have your hands shoulder distance apart. We're going to be partially weight bearing in the hands here, so it's a partial arm balance. So hands are under your shoulders, spread your fingers. Lift the heel of your right foot, place the knee high up on the tricep, As if you're going to come into crow pose just on the right leg. Lean your spine forward. Can you hover the right foot off the floor? If that's okay so far, can you reach your left arm out to the side? If that's okay so far, can you push into your right hand, hover your right knee off of the leg, and then swing the right leg under you over to the left? Maybe grab the foot with your left hand. We're going to come out the same way we came in. So release the foot, bring the knee back towards the arm, maybe tap the upper arm with your knee, place the foot down, straighten the leg other side. Walk your hands over towards your left foot. Place the hands under your shoulders, spread your fingers. Lift the heel of your left foot. Bring the knee high up onto the tricep. Lean forward with your spine. Maybe hover the left foot. If it's okay here, reach the right arm out to the side. If everything's still going okay here, can you lift the left knee off of the arm, swing the leg under you over to the right, maybe grab the foot in your right hand. And then release the foot, bring the knee back to the upper arm, maybe tap it. Place the foot down, hands to the floor, come right through center, hands under your shoulders. Turn your heels in, come into horse pose, lift up through your arms, come upright. Exhale, side bend over your right leg. Turn the inner knees out. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, side bend over your left leg, your left arm just drapes down. Inhale, come up. Stay where you are, I'm just going to turn so I'm facing the proper way. And now let's come into triangle pose. Turn your left toes to the front of the mat, reach the arms out, and exhale, let's come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Left hand is on the shin, right arm is reaching up, reach the spine out towards the front of your mat. Lengthen through your limbs. Turn the chest open. One more breath. And then bend your front knee, rise up through warrior two, find reverse warrior, right hand down, left arm up and back, and then you'll windmill your hands down to the floor. Position the hands, level out through your hips, take your left leg up into the air behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the right knee high up onto the right tricep. Exhale, slide the knee down the arm towards the wrist, but hover the shin and the foot. Inhale, pull back up to the tricep. The knee up to the tricep. Exhale, slowly lower the knee down the leg to the wrist. Inhale, pull it up one more time. Exhale, lower down. Your knees like an elevator, going up and down. Back up. Take your left leg up into the air behind you. Shift forward to plank pose. Flow through a vinyasa. Finally, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. So, if you are an intermediate yoga student, or maybe slightly more than intermediate, this should be a resting pose. This downward facing dog should now be a resting pose for you. Try to equalize the weight between your hands and your feet. So should feel like there's more weight pushing back into your feet. And it's giving your upper body a little bit of a break. Let the head just rest here between your arms. Find one more breath. And then look forward. Let's walk the feet to the top of the mat. Squat, turn your toes out, feet are wide, hips lower down, hands to your heart. So we did some partial arm balancing, so let's counterpose the wrists here. Push the back of the hands together with the fingers pointing down. So the knuckles are pressing into each other. And just slowly, you roll from the index finger knuckles pushing together to the middle, the ring finger knuckles, and then the pinky. And then the knuckles are the first knuckle right at the base of your fingers. You're just kind of rolling the back of your hands inside edge to outside edge. And now that we've counterposed the wrists, let's get on them again. So crow pose. Hands to the floor under your shoulders, lift your hips, both knees high up on the triceps, lean forward with their spine, look down, not towards your feet, but more towards the front of your mat, and then can you float your feet? Lift your core up, lift your navel up. One more breath. Lower your feet down. All right. Straighten your legs, heel toe your feet in under the hips, parallel your feet. Actually take your feet a tiny bit wider than hips distance. Hold on to your big toes. Lengthen halfway forward so peace fingers are holding the big toes. Exhale, fold yourself down. Pull up on the toes with your fingers and push the toes down onto your fingers. So there's both a push and a pull going on. And then if your elbows can be bent here, widen them out to the side. Your knees can be bent if you need to. Close your eyes here, smooth, even breaths. And then release the hands to the floor, feet back to hips distance, bend the knees, lengthen halfway, and then rise all the way up to stand. Arms reach up at the top, inhale, hands to your heart, exhale. Other side. Feet together to touch. Bend the knees, inhale, weight is in your heels, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale here. Keep your right leg in chair pose, extend your left leg forward. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior three, variation with the right knee a little bit bent. Make sure the right knee isn't veering over to the left. And then tuck the left knee behind the right knee, reach your arms forward. Inhale here. You're hovering the left foot. Exhale to warrior three variation. Keep the right kneecap pointing forward. Inhale, come forward, still in a chair pose. In the right leg, left leg is extended forward. Exhale, warrior three variation to swan pose. So interlace the fingers behind you. Keep your right knee bent, pointing the kneecap forward, and lift your left leg high as if it's the swan tail feathers lifting up off the surface of the lake. Lift your heart even. Pause here. And then release your hands. Come back up partway. Tuck the left knee behind the right knee. Reach the arms forward. And then lower your hands to the floor. Keep the legs just as they are. Start to extend your left leg over to the right. Flex the ankle. Spread the toes. Maybe hold on to the left foot with your right hand. And then let's swing the left leg back to the back of your mat. Lower the heel, warrior one shape. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms up. Virabhadrasana 1. Finding a 90-degree bend in your front knee. And then take the arms behind you, interlace your fingers. Inhale, push the knuckles down, lift up through the heart. Exhale, humble warrior. Right shoulder comes down to the top of the knee or the inside of the knee. Head releases down. Arms reach up away from the back. Hug your outer right hip in. Like you're trying to point the outer right hip towards your back heel. Push down through the feet. Inhale, rise up. Release the hands at the top, reach them up. And then straighten your front leg. Bring your back foot in just an inch or two. Level your hips forward. And exhale, come forward and down. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Front leg mostly straight. If you have your blocks, you can use them under your hands if that would be helpful for you here. Just don't lock out. If you're really flexible here, don't lock out through the back of the knee. You keep a little micro bend in your right knee. And then let's place the left hand under the shoulder, revolve triangle pose, right arm opens up. Can you look up towards your top hand? Can you keep your right hip moving back and your spine reaching forward? And with all of that going on, can you still breathe smooth and even? Look down. Push down into your front foot, windmill your left arm up and around to face the long edge of your mat, and then bend into your left knee, side lunge. Your toes are turned out a little bit, and then side lunge towards the top of your mat into your right knee, and then come back through center all the way up. Parallel your feet, hands on the hips. Inhale, lift up through the spine. Exhale, come part way forward, hands to the floor under the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, lower the crown of the head down and walk your hands back between your feet. Let the top of the head just point downwards. Don't lock the back of your knees here. little soft bend in the knees. One more breath. Try to center yourself between the two legs. And then lift up the head. Walk the hands under your shoulders. So back into our almost crow pose. So walk your hands towards your back foot, your left foot. Bend the knee. Have the hands under the shoulders. Fingers are spread. Get surface space in your hands. And then let's lift the left heel. Bring the knee up onto the left tricep. Lean the spine forward. Hover the left foot. And then if you can, reach the right arm out to the side. So here's where the core is going to really fire up. Can you push into the left hand, lift the knee off of the arm, straighten it out under you. Maybe hold the left foot with your right hand. And then release the foot, bend the knee, tap the left tricep with the knee, place the foot down. Walk your hands through center. Other side, over towards the right hand, bend the knee. Lift the right heel. Position the hands under the shoulders, spread the fingers, and then bring the right knee up onto the tricep. Lean forward, hover the right foot. Take your left arm out to the side. Now push down into the right hand, use your core a lot. Hover the right knee off the arm, straighten the right leg directly under you, maybe hold the right foot with your left hand. Release the foot, bend the knee, maybe tap the tricep with the right knee, and then place the foot down. Walk your hands back through center, pause here, get yourself symmetrical. Reach the spine forward. Turn the heels in, bend the knees, roll yourself up to horse pose. Arms reach out to the side, reach up. Side bend once to each side, so towards the back of the mat, towards the left. Left arm just drapes down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the right. Keep the inner knees widening apart. Inhale, reach up. Straighten your legs. Turn your right toes to the front of the mat. Exhale, pyramid pose. Mostly straighten your front leg. Your right hand to the shin, your top arm reaches up, reach out through the spine. How's your breathing? Remember, you made this commitment to yourself that you would maintain this smooth, even, full breath. The breath may speed up from time to time, that's fine. But can you keep it smooth and steady? Can you breathe into the back body? One more breath here. Bend your front knee. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to the floor. So once your hands touch down, level out through your hips, and then take your right leg up into the air behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee and bring the knee to high up on the tricep, the right tricep. Exhale, slide the knee down the arm to the wrist, but keep the shin hovering. Inhale, pull it back up to the tricep. Exhale, slide the knee down the arm. Inhale, slide it up. One more time. Slide it down. Don't let the shin touch down. Slide it up. Take the right leg back behind you. Shift forward to plank pose with both feet down. Shift their shoulders over the fingertips and then lower down as you bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Stay here for one more breath. Push into the hands, pull the shoulders back, push into the feet, and then exhale, roll up and over the toes, downward facing dog. Let the head turn a little from side to side here. Push the floor away from you. Reach the hips as far back from your wrists as you can, even if that means the knees are bent. Now let the head just be still between the arms. One more time, we're going to counterpose the wrists. So lower the knees down to the floor. Come up into a high kneeling, like we're coming into a camel pose, but we're going to keep it low. So interlace the fingers behind you. I have my toes curled under here, but you can have your feet, tops of the feet down if you prefer. And then try to push the palms towards each other. Firm your thighs. Lift your heart. Send your hips forward. So not only are we counterposing the wrists, we're also counterposing the spine. Forward bends usually involve rounding. Arm balances usually require more forward bending. So so we're just counterposing with a mild back bend, and we're stretching through the wrists by squeezing into the knuckles, fingers into the knuckles, and push the palms towards each other. Let's lift up through the heart, release your hands. Just roll out through the wrists here, circle through the wrists. We got one more arm balance to go. Okay, so hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Let's look forward and walk the feet to the top of the mat. Come back into your squat. We'll do another crow pose, but this time we're going to try to do a one-armed or one-legged crow pose, Ekapada Bakasana. So I'll just turn myself a little bit so I'm a little bit more, hopefully, angled better so you can see. So we did Bakasana crow pose where both knees are on both triceps. Now we're going to just try to bring one knee to the tricep and the other knee is going to float. It's going to engage the core on the side of your floating leg a lot more. And you may notice that one side of your core is stronger than the other. It's just something interesting to observe. So you decide which knee is going to come on first to the tricep. So set yourself up for crow. Decide which knee is going to come high up onto the tricep. The other knee is just hanging out. Maybe it's pointing forward between your legs. Shift forward, lift up the foot that has that's in crow, and then can you hover the other leg? Hover the other foot off the floor. Notice what's going on here, how different it is. Lower your feet, how different it is from your regular crow. Now, prepare to be potentially surprised because you're going to do the other knee in crow, and you're going to see the difference between the strength in the left and the right side of your core. So again, crow pose, lift your hips up high, bring the other knee high up onto the tricep, really right below the armpit. Shift forward, pick up that foot that's in crow, and then can you pick up your other leg? Now this side might be easier, it might be harder. Hang out for another breath. Lower your feet down. It's about twice as hard as regular crow, hovering one knee. So let's bring the knees down to the floor, and we're going to stretch the wrists again. So just place the tops of the hands down so the fingers point back towards your knees, your palms are face up. And then push down onto that first knuckle, right at the base of your fingers, push down. One more breath here. And then take your hands so now they're face down, but the fingers still point back towards your knees. Normally we do this from more of a tabletop position, but since we're a little closer in and more of a kneeling, can you sit back on your heels here? So the inner wrists, the inner forearms are pointed forward. And since that took a lot of core, all of those three crow variations, that took a bit of core work, we're going to stretch that out now. So let's come down onto our bellies, come into a Sphinx pose. So you're on your forearms. Palms are face down. Elbows under the shoulders, and then lift up through the heart. So it's a bit of a mild back bend here. Keep your tailbone reaching towards the back of your mat. Keep the heart lifting up, crown of the head lifting up. If you want to take this a little bit deeper into a back bend, you can find seal pose. So take your hands a little wider and a little bit more forward, and then straighten your arms. So think of like big seal flippers propping you up. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears, and the tailbone reaching towards the back of your mat. And lower yourself down, 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 down. Okay, and prop yourself up just part way so you can slide the right arm directly under you over to the left. So the arm is perpendicular to your body. Right arm is reaching over to the left, and then take your left arm and cross it over to the right. So your arms cross as high up on the upper arms as possible. And then let your head just rest down on the top arm. Close your eyes here, just stretching through the upper back and the deltoids. One more breath. Let's lift the head Unwind the arms and we'll take them the other way. So first the left arm comes directly under you over to the right. And then your right arm crosses over. So you're trying to make your arms as much as possible parallel to the top edge of the mat, and they're crossed high up on the upper arm. And then just let the head rest down on that top arm and try as best you can to soften and relax here. Just let the weight of your head be like a sandbag on that top arm, just weighing it down a little bit more. Can you relax through the glutes and across the back of the hips? And then we'll lift up the head and unwind your arms, and then just go ahead and roll over onto your back. We'll just finish up with a couple of low back releases here. So lay yourself down, hug the knees in towards you. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. And then take your arms out wide. Let's lower both legs over to the right, just finding a twist here. Now, if you've noticed that your hips are far to the right of the center of your spine, then shift your hips a little over to the left. So you're really just trying to make a long line, horizontal line with your spine. It's mostly in line with the long edge of your mat as you twist. And then your top hip is moving away from you. Try to reach out and get through the left arm and get heavier through the left shoulder. And then let's bring the knees back up. Okay, shift your hips over to the right a little bit. Pick the feet back up, knees stay bent, and bring both of your legs over to the left. Take your top hip away from the ribs. Lengthen out through the right arm. And then let's bring the legs back up and your feet to the floor. One more thing here, just to release through the side of the hips. So cross the right thigh over the left and then draw the legs in towards you. Hold on to your kneecaps. This might be enough, just holding the kneecaps. Or slide your hands down the outer shins. Your shins will widen apart. The closer your hands get towards your feet, the more your shins will widen apart, and this will emphasize the stretch in especially the outer right hip. So hands can be on shins or ankles or holding the outer edge of your feet. If your head is trying to pop up off the floor or your chin is tilting way up, you're probably reaching too far down towards your feet. So just ease up a little bit so you're not straining the cervical spine. And then let's release that side and cross your legs the other way. Left thigh comes on top, hands start on the kneecaps. This might be enough, just staying right here with your thighs crossed and the hands on the knees. And that's fine. Or you can slide the hands down the outer shins, letting the hands stop where they need to stop. And it might be this different on this side versus the first side. It's common that there's imbalances in the hips. There's asymmetries. So if you find that this side feels quite different, that's common. Not ideal, but it's common. So we're using our yoga practice also as a tool to find more balance in the body by doing these poses consistently, regularly. Let's release the hands and bring the feet to the floor. Bring the feet together and the knees out wide. Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly pose. Hands just come to the lower abdomen and close your eyes here and Just can you soften the bones? Every bone of your body just softening down to the floor. Close your eyes. Just let gravity take over here, weighing the legs down, opening through the inner hips, inner groins. Let your hands just feel the smooth rise and fall of your breath. We'll be here for about 5 more breaths here. So every breath you soften and relax a little bit more. Every breath you continue to find a smoothness and a fullness in the breath. Don't force the fullness of the breath. Just relax and the fullness will happen. 2 more breaths. And then take the hands to the outer thighs. Draw the knees together. Roll over to one side. And press yourself up to seated. When you find your seat, bring the hands together at your heart. Close your eyes again for one final moment, just checking in with yourself. Notice how you feel. And that includes mentally and energetically. Just acknowledge how you feel right now without judgment. And then bow the head to your heart. Thank you for joining me for this class today. I hope your hips feel more open. I hope that your core feels more enlivened. Feel free to add a comment to the bottom of this video if there's any feedback you'd like to give me or any types of yoga that you'd like to practice with me in the future. Thanks again. Namaste.